Hello, little learners. Welcome back to our pre-K and TK classroom. My name is Miss Lara, and I'm going to be your teacher today. Hello. Now, I'd love for you to introduce yourself. Say, my name is, and then say your name as loud as you can. Ready? When I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. My name is... Oh, hello. Let's see if I can guess your special letter. So remember, all of our letters start at the top by the smiley face. So when you write, you'll have to remember that. Today we need a big line, starts at the top and goes down. And then we need a big curve. What letter have we made? It's the letter D. And the D makes a special sound. It says D, D. The D says D. The D says D. Every letter makes a sound. The D says D. So if your name starts with that sound, this is your special letter. And if not, don't worry. I bring out more letters throughout the week. Now today is day 2 of the 5 days that we're going to be together talking about clothing. Our focused or anchor text is caps for sale. So here's 2 magnets here. Caps for sale. Do you remember that book? The book about the man, the peddler, who went around selling caps and all the monkeys came and took them when he took a nap by a tree? Well, today we're going to read another special book with a very funny character. But first we have to sing our song. Now the season, their weather is changing and it's cold outside. So we have a song to remember what types of clothing we wear to keep ourselves warm. The song tune is The Farmer and the Dill. Let's start with our hat. The hat goes on my head. The hat goes on my head. Warm clothes for when it's cold. The hat goes on my head. I have a very funny hat on today, don't I? Next are these big black boots, and they go on our feet. Our boots go on our feet. Our boots go on our feet. Warm clothes for when it's cold. Our boots go on our feet. And next we have this long piece of fabric called a scarf that goes around our neck. Our scarf goes around our neck. Our scarf goes around our neck. Warm clothes for when it's cold. A scarf goes around our neck. And the last item of clothing that I brought for you are mittens. And I know these are mittens because they don't have finger holes for each finger. They're all one. So our mittens go on our hands. The mittens go on my hands. The mittens go on my hands. Warm clothes for when it's cold. The mittens go on my hands. And maybe next time I'll bring a jacket or something else we can wear to keep ourselves warm. But right now it's time for Miss Maria's delivery of our letter. Let's see what our letter says. Our letter starts at the left and goes to the right with our tracking finger, and it goes, Dear Miss Lara, I have a huge pile of dirty clothes that need to be cleaned. Oh no, a huge pile of dirty clothes? That sounds like me in my house. I don't know how I'm going to clean my laundry. Laundry is a word for dirty clothing. Oh, I don't know either, but I do know somebody who loves to clean clothing. And I think that's who we're reading about today. Her name is Mrs. McNosh, and she hangs up her wash. Look, there she is. And she's a very silly character because she doesn't just clean clothing. She cleans all kinds of silly things too. So we're going to read the book together. This book is by author Sarah Weeks, and you'll remember that the author writes the words. It's illustrated by Nadine Bernard Westcott. That means she drew the pictures. So let's look inside the book. Mrs. McNosh hangs up her wash. Look, there she is. The very front, she's carrying all her laundry. That looks like me when I have to do laundry on laundry day. Big piles. Each Monday at dawn, Miss Nellie McNosh brings out a barrel and does a big wash. So there she is with a barrel. And look, here she is doing her wash. It takes her all morning, and when the sun's high, she hangs what she's washed on the clothesline to dry. Now, you boys and girls might not know what a clothesline is because a lot of houses have dryers now. But back in the olden days, and maybe sometimes now, you used to have to hang clothing on a line so it can actually get the sun and dry outside. Mrs. McNosh is using clothespins to put the clothing on the clothesline. She hangs up the dresses, she hangs up the shirts, she hangs up the underwear, nightgowns, and skirts. So there she is, hanging things up so the sun can dry them. She hangs up the stockings, she hangs up the shoes, she wrings out the paper and hangs up the news. Oh, that's a silly thing to hang up. So she has her stockings, her shoes, some paper, and the news. Now I want you to look at this picture. In the story, we used a word called wring. When you wring out some paper, that means you take all of the water out. It's not like a ring you put on your finger. It's a little different. What is she gonna hang now? Do you see who's hanging there? Let's read. She hangs up the dog and his dish and his bone. She gets a wrong number and hangs up the phone. Oh my goodness, look at the dog. He's just hanging there all wet and he's clean with his soggy bone. And I'm going to show you, see if you can see. There's a bird up here laughing at the dog. She's hanging up the phone. That Mrs. McNosh. Oh my gosh. She hangs up a hat and an old wedding gown and two sleepy bats, which she hangs upside down. Look, there they are. Where did she get the bats from? And the wedding gown? Ooh, she better be careful. That's very delicate. She hangs up a lamp and a large Christmas wreath and Grandpa McNosh's removable teeth. Oh, there's his teeth. I bet he's missing them. I hope he doesn't have to chew anything. She hangs up a kite by the tip of its tail. The postman arrives and she hangs up the mail. Look, there he is running for his life. She might hang him up too. She hangs till she's hung every last thing in sight, including the turkey she's roasting that night. So let's review some things that she hung. The trash can, an ironing board, looks like an old suitcase or vacuum cleaner. And there is the turkey. And now the bird is fleeing because the bird knows I might be next. She takes off her apron and lets down her hair. Then she hangs herself up in a comfortable chair. There she is relaxing. The end. I hope that you enjoyed the book, Mrs. McNosh Hangs Up Her Wash. My favorite part is the very end where she's sitting in a comfortable chair, enjoying the breeze. What was your favorite part? So I hope that you go back and read this story by checking it out in your local library or on the Sora app. Did you notice that this book is a good one for rhyming? Yeah, I noticed that too. Now our foundational skill today is not rhyming. We're actually going to focus in on beginning sounds. The ability to isolate a beginning sound is so important to listening to the sounds in words when you read. So we have some clothing here that Mrs. McNosh needs to hang up on her clothesline. And you'll notice that her clothesline has different letters on it. So what I'm going to do is say the name of the item of clothing slowly, and we're going to focus in on that very first sound that you hear. Okay, so let's do this one. This was in our song earlier. It's a scarf. Scarf. Do you notice that beginning sound? S, like a snake. What letter makes the sound? That's an S, of course, so let's put it on the S. The scarf starts with S. Let's see, how about, this one, some stinky socks. Socks. Do you hear the sound again? Remember the letter? It's an S, that's right. S right here. Now, if you don't know your sounds yet, you can actually help out by saying the S makes the sound and have your child point to the letter S as they're beginning to recognize sounds and letters. These are mittens, mittens, like yummy, That's the M. M, do you see an M here? It's right here. And that takes lots of big lines, doesn't it? No curves. Let's see the next one. It's a hat, like it's hot, like you've eaten something really spicy. What is the beginning sound of hat? It's H, isn't it? And I noticed the H is right here, another letter with no curves. Let's see this one. It's pants. Pants. What's the beginning sound there? P. Pants start with P, and there's the letter P there. A big line and a little curve. We're going to put it right on. And this one is a very colorful tie. I'm wearing a tie, but mine is called a bow tie. Tie. Let's say the beginning sound. T, t, t. What letter makes the t, t sound? It's a T. So let's put it up here. We're almost done hanging up all the wash. We have a few letters left. A B, B. Let's see, and I think, boots, my favorite kind. I need to get myself a pair. Boots. Makes the B sound. B. And our last one is a blouse. Blouse, also called a shirt, but we're going to call it a blouse. Blouse. It's the letter B. Did we hang up all of the wash? We did, so I hope that you try this activity at home. You can use items of clothing from your closet and just write down Post-it notes with letters and sort them that way. Like I said, you can use it for all levels of learning. Right now, we're going to go over to our project place. We're going to still practice our sewing like we did yesterday, and I have something new to show you that a seamstress might use. So let's walk over. So today I have to show you a pattern. Now I showed you the sewing machine yesterday, and I showed you the needle and how things can be sewn very, very quickly. But when you take a look at an item of clothing, you'll notice, like this shirt, that it has certain pieces that have to fit together. Like the sleeves have to be the same size, and then the buttons have to be put in the right way. And you'll notice the back has another big piece that has to be sewn on. So how do people who sew know what pieces to cut out? They use a pattern, and patterns usually come in little bags like this. I got this at my local craft store. And you open it up, and it has instructions or directions that show you how to cut the pieces that you'll need to make the item of clothing that you're making. So see, it says right there what stitches to use. I'm going to show you what's inside. So you can see this pattern is for a shirt. Now you can practice making patterns all on your own and then use paper to cut them out and sew like I showed you yesterday with yarn. So I wanted to show you what this looks like. Now if you can see it on camera, but it has lots of little dots and lines like this, see? And this kind of tells you where you need to cut and where you need to sew. Those dots represent where you need to sew. So you can make all kinds of things with patterns, dresses, pants. People even make very fancy dresses called wedding dresses that they use to celebrate when they're getting married to someone. So I hope that if you have a pattern in your house that you'll check it out. Now today's project is sewing with some styrofoam plates. Now for this activity, what you'll need is styrofoam plate, which is a special kind of material that stays sturdy when you poke holes in it. You're going to need a toothpick, some yarn, or I have some embroidery thread today. And you're going to need a Sharpie or a marker, which I have right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a design on our plate. So for me, I think I want to make a heart. Because why not? Let's make a heart. So to make a heart, I go up and down and around. You can make any design that you want. It would be really fun to make a special letter. Then you can practice your letters. This activity is great for fine motor skills. So I am going to take my embroidery thread, which came in a very cool color, orange, because who doesn't love an orange heart? And then I'm going to take a little piece of tape and tape my toothpick, which is going to serve as my needle, to the end of the embroidery thread here. And I'm just going to twirl it around so it's nice and tight, because you noticed yesterday my needle kept falling off. No fun at all. Then I'm going to take some scissors and just cut off my embroidery thread and make it kind of long. Cut it off here. And then I might tie a little knot at the end. Now there's different ways to tie a knot. You might have a grown-up help you. I was always taught that you kind of put it around your finger a couple times and then knot it through like this. It's kind of a thicker knot. Look at that knot. Let's see if that works. All right, now we're going to practice sewing our heart. Now you'll notice on the back you can still see the design, so I'm going to poke through with my needle. And really this activity will work with styrofoam because it does stay sturdy. I might add a little piece of tape to the back to keep my knot from coming out. It stays sturdy when you poke holes through it. So another activity I used to do in the classroom was use styrofoam plates and then trace out a student's letter and have them use push pins to kind of poke holes as they're learning their special letter. And this serves the purpose of having them hold the push pin in that tripod grasp that you want them to hold a pencil in. So I'm just going to try to stay on the lines as best as I can as I go through and create my heart. You can leave as much of a gap as you want. Now, of course, I drew my design in Sharpie because I wanted you to be able to see it since I'm here in TV land. But you should do your design in pencil. That way you can see your thread and not so much of the design. You're just going back and forth, back and forth. And I wanted to tell you, too, about a little bit of homework that I have for you. This week, I'm going to be showing you a machine called a serger. Now, a serger is super fancy. It has 4 spools of large thread that you use to sew. And what it does is it creates a very clean line when you're sewing. So I want you to ask a grown-up, what does a serger do? And I want you to look at your clothing and see if the person who manufactured or created your clothing used a serger. Almost done with my heart. Here we go. Use the tip. I think I will get through it by the end of our time together. I thought this would be a really good activity also for Thanksgiving. If you celebrate, you can use some feathers on a turkey and kind of sew some of those on. You can create a turkey design. That would be really fun. So of course, it's taking me no time at all to get through this, but I anticipate with little hands, this is going to be a process. And don't worry if your holes get too close together and your yarn doesn't stick, you just go to the other side of the plate and keep going. Yeah. When you make a mistake, we don't stop. We keep going, because at the end, it might be more beautiful than what you thought it might look like. Almost there. We have a little bit more time. I'll show you the end, then we'll get to our next little bit here. So here is what our sewing is looking like. Of course, you can make any design that you want. I can't really see it from there, but maybe in the back you can see that it's really a nice little sewn shape. If you don't want to draw a shape and you just want to practice your sewing skills, you can do that as well. Just kind of go through and practice away, because soon you will get to the point where you're using real needles. Oh, that would be so much fun. So I have some fabric here. It's shark fabric. Fabric shark, fabric shark. And you can make all kinds of things with it. So I wanted to show you what some sewing needles look like. If I can take these out here. Look, they look like this, and they have all kinds of different shapes and sizes. And they have this little hole that I can push them out through and see if they come out. Oh, they're trapped. Someone help me with the trapped needles. They don't want to come out. But once, there it is. There. I knew I'd get them out. I know it's going to be really hard to see where you are, but I wanted to show you. This has a very sharp end and a little hole at the very tip, and that's where you put your thread through. And then you take your fabric and you use real needles, and then you just kind of go back and forth like that. And that's what real sewers do. So this is just practice, and then you can move on to some fabric. So I hope that you enjoyed the demonstration. Looks like we have time for our long alphabet song. So let me get my alphabet letters out. We'll sing our song, and then I'll tell you what we're going to do for the rest of the week. Are you ready? Remember, practice saying the letter with me as we sing our song. A is for amazing, that's what you are. B is for brave, that'll carry you far. C is for caring and community. And D is for determined to be the best I can be. E is for empathy, caring for all. F is for friends that'll catch you when you fall. G is for grateful for everything around. And H is for hopeful, there's more good to be found. See, I is for incredible, how I feel when I'm with you. J and K is for kind to people and animals too. L is for love, put it in all that you do. And M is for mindful, be present every day. N is for nice words in everything you say. O is for original, always be you. P is for perseverance until you make it through. Q is for quiet, those bad thoughts. R is for remember all the greatness that you've got. S is for strong, body and mind. And T is for talent, why not make yours being kind? U is for unique, special and loved. V is for victorious, always rise above. W is for worthy and wonderful too. X, don't X out those mistakes, they're what make you you. Y is for yes, we're getting to the end of this rhyme. And that's the alphabet. I'll see you next time. So let me tell you what we're going to do for the rest of the week. You'll remember that our anchor text is Caps for Sale, about a man who had caps that he was selling, and then the monkeys stole them. Today we read Mrs. McNosh cleans her wash, and we're going to read about animals that wear clothing for the rest of the week. Even a porcupine with all its little prickly parts. Do you think it would wear a jacket? Well, we're going to find out. And then Thursday is Veterans Day, which is a very special day where we honor people who served our country. And then we're going to end the week with a Pete the Cat story. So I hope that you come back for the rest of the week's learning. All right, my friends, it's time to say goodbye. So I'm going to send you a big squeeze wherever you are, a big smooch. Mwah. Remind you to read and play and use your imagination every single day. Goodbye.